Fool your friends and family with these onion rings and corn dogs.
Let's see what's cooking. Let's get the facts. Let's see what's cooking. It's time for yoyomax12.
Hello everyone. First thing we're going to do is make the onion rings. To make these I used Twizzlers, which are licorice candies in these long sticks. They are quite flexible, so what I did is I took the Twizzlers and I kind of stretched them a little bit and just kind of formed them into a circle shape, just to soften them up a little bit so that they will stay in a circle shape when we're done. So then I took a toothpick and put it kind of in a diagonal position and pushed it through the tip of one end of the Twizzler, just like that, and then pressed that end of that toothpick into the other end of the Twizzler, securing it together, and you end up with a circle-shaped Twizzler. Now to secure that place where the two Twizzlers meet, I added a little bit of melted white chocolate or candy melts. And then just allow it to harden. It doesn't take very long. If you put it in the refrigerator, it's only going to take a few minutes. Then I melted more white candy melt in a bowl at 50% power in the microwave, and then I dipped the entire Twizzler in it. Now you won't have to use a spoon if you use enough candy melts in the bowl. You'll be able to just dip it in and back out again. But I only melt as much white candy melt as I need because I don't want to waste any of it. Once it's dipped, you're just going to plunk it into a bowl of graham wafer cracker crumbs until it's coated, and then remove it and place it on a piece of waxed paper. And then I just kind of patted it to make sure that it looked even, and then I put them in the refrigerator just for a few minutes to harden completely. And then you very gently but firmly pull that toothpick out. And then there is your completed candy onion ring. And now we're going to make some corn dogs. The corn dogs are actually a cake pop. So to make cake pops, you'll need some cake. Now this is red velvet cake and some yellow cake mixed together. I had a few cupcakes in my freezer that I wanted to use up, so I defrosted them and just crumbled them into a bowl, but you can use whatever kind of cake you want for this. Then you add some white frosting. This is just white frosting out of a can, and I stirred enough of that white frosting in so when you stir it up and then knead it a little bit with your hands, it'll get this to be the same texture as Play-Doh, so you can mold it. So just add enough frosting to get to that point. Then you're going to shape that cake pop mixture into sausage or hot dog shapes, and you make as many as you need. Then I put these in the refrigerator for about 10 or 15 minutes just to firm up a little bit. In the meantime, I melted my candy melts. I used these peanut butter flavored candy melts, which were just the right color. And this is all I happened to have in the house at the time, so I didn't want to go out and buy any more. So I just added a few white candy melts just to add to the number of them. I was going to melt it in that glass, and then I realized that it was too impractical. So I put them in a bowl, and I melted them in the bowl instead. And this is what I ended up with. And I added a little bit of graham wafer cracker crumbs to the mixture, just to give it a little bit more of a corn dog batter texture. Because corn dog batter is kind of lumpy because it has cornmeal in it. Now here are the cake pop hot dogs that had been chilling for a little while. Then I take a lollipop stick, poke a hole in the end of one of them, then dip the lollipop stick into the melted candy melts, and then just put it back in, and that'll just secure the stick to the cake pop hot dog. And then I let those chill again for another 10-15 minutes in the refrigerator until they firm up. Then I transferred those candy melts into a tall glass, and it's easier to use a container that's tall and skinny when you're doing these kinds of things. Dip that cake pop into the candy melts, allow some of the excess to drip off, and then place it on a cookie sheet that's been covered with a silicone mat or waxed paper or even plastic wrap. Now if your cake pops are chilled properly, you should be able to move them around like this without them falling off the stick. Once it's coated, you're going to put it on the cookie sheets and just allow them to harden. Now because the cake pop sausages are already chilled, it won't take very long at all for them to harden up. Then I took some yellow candy melts, put them in a Ziploc bag, melted them, cut the corner off, and just drizzled a little bit of the yellow on there to make it look like mustard. You could also use yellow frosting for this as well. And that's pretty much it. They are done. Here are the completed cake pop corn dogs. I think they look very much like corn dogs. And you can actually serve these along with your very special candy onion rings. Now, a note about this cute little basket that these onion rings are in. I wanted to actually put those corn dogs in that little basket, but I didn't have the basket at the time. I did a search for fast food printable basket, and I found a website where you can just print it out on cardstock, cut it out, little bit of tape, and you've got an adorable little fast food basket that you can use for your April Fool's Day treats. So I'll provide a link in the description box to that website so you can print out your own. Now I have a lot of other great April Fool's Day recipes, or as I like to call them, food that looks like other food on my channel, like this mac and cheese, peas and carrots, and chicken nugget recipe. So go ahead and click on your screen or see the link to that playlist in the description box below. Thanks for watching.